Hello, everybody. I'm Tasharia.
And I'm Tasha.
And we're the Turners. Welcome to Turner Talk Podcast. Come on, man. This is week like
boys
1,000.
and thousand. We always get it
No,
wrong.
no, I got it right.
But you
Anyway,
went to see.
you was the one not in sync. You said Turner Talk Podcast. Anyway,
This is every week.
because you refuse to do it right. All right. Anyway, this is another week to have a conversation with another very special guest. We have
Marqueston Huff, uh, from a small town again, Clarksville.
Yeah.
Representing,
Yeah.
going hard the bank. He was in the NFL, went to college, ended up going to the NFL, doing things that young men his age when they were growing up dreamed of.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to live out that's just amazing. And we're bringing him here to share his journey and what it was like to go through, from a kid on up to where he's at now. And he's coaching and a recruiter at a local high school here in the DFW area. We don't want to give you the name because we don't want y'all harassing him, standing all out there, paparazzi and all of that. So we're just saying, so we're just saying in the local area. But we're gonna let him start out and give us a little background on himself and just enjoy. All right, Marquez.
Almost definitely. First, I just want to, start off just kind of telling you a quick little synopsis of, my life. I grew up in a small town, like I said, Clarksville, Texas. Everybody know, my parents, Connie Sue. They know my granny Una Mae, my aunt, Bob. There's a whole list. Yeah, so I grew up with with everybody knowing who you are. Um, from there I moved on to Texarkana, Texas. From a young boy, I always enjoyed playing football, and a lot of other sports as well. Baseball and basketball as well. When I was younger, when we moved to Texarkana, um, you go to the little boys and girls club league, and we kind of dominated there. And I'm talking about me and Trey Carson. Moved from Clarksville to Texarkana. Two young guys that was used to playing against older guys our whole entire lives. Older cousins, then their friends come over there, and we was kind of picked on because we was the youngest, but it was the good pick on. It was like, okay, we was gonna be good, and then yeah, and because of that though, like it really created a couple guys that could really do whatever they set their mind to. We was a lot more equipped with the talent we needed to excel at sports because we so used to playing with older kids. We didn't get to play with kids our age until we did move to Chester County, and that was in the fourth and fifth grade for us.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I just kept at it, played at sports. My aunt, she stayed on my head, make sure my grades stay right, make sure I stay disciplined, do what I'm supposed to do. And from there, just kind of took off. I use sports as an avenue where I can, get out some things that I maybe was dealing with, or just a place where you can be stress free and just go out there and have fun. And from there, just kind of took off. From there, I went to Liberialo High School, and then I was able to go play college at the University of Wyoming. I played 4 years there, 3 years at the cornerback position. I played 1 year at the safety position, and I played the nickel position all 4 years I was there as well. And because of what I did at the University of Wyoming, I was afforded the opportunity to get drafted in the fourth round by the Tennessee Titans. From there, I kind of bounced around the league. I played 5 years total in the NFL and 1 year in the XFL, so six total professional football years.
Which is amazing.
Yes,
Transitioning from high school to college, the workout, the discipline was a bit different. That is from college to the NFL.
yes,
And for you to be able to look on TV on Sunday and see these guys playing, and then you're standing right beside them on the sideline, that has to be some surreal type feeling.
yes, it does. It really is. One of my favorite moments was as my freshman, not my freshman year. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about high school. But my rookie year, we was playing against the Dallas Cowboys. If you grew up in Texas,
Oh
especially
my God.
in Texas, you're a Cowboys fan. And at the
There you
time,
go.
Tony Romo, DeMarco Murray, they had
Hmm.
Des Bryant out there. I think I won't even say that Miles Austin was still on the team at the time.
Oh
Like,
wow.
so when you go out there, you grew up, you really watch these people play
Hmm.
football. I really watched them. Then I get the opportunity to go out there and play against those guys, and they're right across from me, and it's surreal. You know what you dreamed about as a kid. You actually had the opportunity to go out there and to compete against those people that you might have looked up to when you was younger. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
an incredible experience for me.
So, do you think sports was a way for you to, like I was telling her, we have boys, and
Mhm.
to me, boys got to get out that energy.
Yes,
They got to get it out because boy, we got someone that run throughout the house.
Everything is
Everything
running
he
on his
do is
tiptoes.
running. So we put him in baseball, t-ball, and the first day, their first practice or whatever, he got in the car and he went to sleep. I say they got to get that energy out. So you
yes.
think that's important for young boys to be able to play sports. One, like you say, it gets out that testosterone. It gets out, works some of that energy off. And also it helps you deal with whatever you may be going through as a young man.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And for me, instead of like it's not to me it's not necessarily about getting the energy off. It's about providing them with the structure that they might need. When you're young, you get sports introduced in your life, whether you have a female and a male present in your house, or you have an all female present in your house. Like it's very vital for them to go through there and learn how to work as a unit, because
Mm-hmm.
it's very few jobs out there. It's very few occupations, anything that you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
not have to deal with people and understand
Mm-hmm.
how to cooperate together and work for a better cause. And for me, I think that's the most important piece of it. You go out there and they teach you teamwork. They teach you how to be accountable, be a discipline, be committed to the things that you do, and you have other people in places to help you. And say, like when you say that, you're talking about coaches, you're talking about other parents,
Yeah.
you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
other players, and when you get that sense and everybody keep pushing on you and pulling you in the same direction, you start getting that sense of belonging. And you get that
Mm-hmm.
sense of belonging, it creates another drive, and it creates things that's going to carry it throughout life for you. And I think that's very important for kids to
Mm-hmm.
get at a very young age.
You said that very well, and
Yeah, that was very
that was
eloquently said because
yeah.
I was like, no,
Cause
my
she's
brother
really
might break his
yes.
neck. You ain't never like worry about that. Like you never, like we're
She's
afraid
scared they're
about
gonna go
getting
out there
hurt.
and get their arm. I said they get more kids get their arm broke on the playground than they will at
Yeah,
the
No,
football
I
field.
used to referee basketball, and I saw a dude come down from a free throw, broke his leg. It was like clack. I was like, oh Lord. I was like, oh my God, I felt everything in my body. Oh my
but,
goodness.
but think about this: you can also see people miss a step off the porch and break their
There
ankles.
you go. There you go.
And for me, I'm
What's
like,
the likelihood? Oh my
Easy.
God. Okay,
it's
okay.
really
Tell me
about
how you felt as a
it's really about the same.
Yeah.
because I was like, boys are just so wired differently, and I really try hard to understand because they like. I know I used to do some straight crazy stuff like climb on the roof and stuff like that, but they be doing it on the bed. I was like, they're gonna crack their head.
Our boys
So
fought.
tell me how you felt. Like you didn't have no fear, like nothing like that.
No, I mean when I went out there to play, it's a free space for me. That's for any sport. When I go out there, I'm not thinking about no outside sources. I'm not thinking about getting hurt. I'm not. None of that is on my mind. I go out there and I just release all the stress that I've been dealing with. If I was mad during the day and I just really want to go hit something or something like that, I go out on the football field and give my effort to that. I get an opportunity to make contact and try to run through somebody. Then I'm going to take the opportunity because it gives you a legal way to take out frustrations
There you
on
go.
others. And
Yeah,
when you say it like that, it kind of sounds like a bad thing, but for me, it's needed. You know what I mean? Like as individuals, we have emotions, and sometimes you need to deal with them. Sometimes you just gotta yell. Sometimes you just want to slap your hands together, whatever. But
Mhm.
you frustration that you need to get
gotta
out.
get it.
And for me,
Mhm.
sports allow you to take out some of that aggression, and I really
Mhm.
like. I love what they're doing when they incorporate like it's a ladies football league as well where they got shoulder pads and it's not
Mhm.
like I love watching that football because football is much more than just about men going around playing each other. It's a sisterhood, it's a brotherhood. It's
Mhm.
uniting people together and getting them to understand people on a different aspect, especially when you take
Mhm.
the time to really get to know the athletes.
Absolutely. So, what do you think your most difficult challenge was going from high school to college to the NFL that you encountered that you would let somebody else know if they're in the pursuit of trying to go to the NFL as a high school student?
Sacrifices. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. When you're in high school, you got to understand there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's going to distract you from what your goals are.
Mhm.
But I'm a very goal oriented person. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
feel like in order to be successful, you have to have some sense of goals. You got to have
Mhm.
somewhere go. You can't just be out here roaming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wanted to get away from the environment I was in. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I never want my kids to go through some of the things I went through as a young kid. I knew that I want just better for my whole entire family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, you guys are from Clarksville, so you know that it's around. There's nobody you look around like if you you know it's no one that you really can look at and say, hey, I want to be just like them. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
want to have the things that they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. So for me, like I saw that on TV. I saw people going out there playing football. I went in the backyard. I threw the football around. I know it's a sport that I love. I enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always my drive. I love this sport and it's fun to me, and they pay people to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
why I won't give everything I possibly have to give to make it as far as I want to in this sport. So when I
Right on
Absolutely.
in life.
yeah, so
Hmm.
when I'm saying sacrifices, I'm talking about it's time that someone might text you say, "Hey, we're about to go to the movies and we're gonna do this and
Hang out. Mm-hmm.
and for me, like I'd rather go to the football field and do some footwork drills or do some one-on-ones, go work on getting faster, lift some weight, something that's gonna actually help benefit me in the future, whether if it's making it to the NFL or just adding discipline structure or just helping
Mm-hmm.
my physical health. I think those are
Mm-hmm.
all things that's important to me. But when you're doing that, you create habits and you
Mm-hmm.
create habits because I think that's what it is. If you create negative habits, you're gonna have negative life. But
Hmm.
when you create winning habits and you're doing stuff with a positive purpose, I think only greatness can come from it.
There you go.
Yes.
That point right there.
Oh, yes. And that's what I said. I had lost like 70 pounds. And then I still, when I lost 30, I was like, I thought it was going to thank you. And I thought it was going to like release me, like I would feel,
It made
made
you
over
want to
or
do
something.
more.
But and then I realized you have to start. It's not just physical; it's mental and spiritually as well.
Yeah,
So it just it I really like doing things for our health. I be like, we done join the gym, we going. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna be like the folks that join the gym and don't never go. We going,
And
okay?
I'm
yeah, I'm
starting off,
definitely.
slow. I did 6 stairs on the stairmaster. Then I went to the treadmill. She said, "That's all." I
Yeah,
said, to me that was a lot. But do you still do perform some of those NFL drills to keep yourself in shape? Because you'll see some of the coaches on the sideline, and
they let
like what
I'm
I'm saying, about to say.
yes, ma'am. I know exactly what you're saying. And listen, I'm not I don't do all the stuff that I do now that I used to do to stay in shape and get right for the NFL. It's more so now I like to compete. I'm a very competitive person.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the kids to keep me going. When I'm out there coaching, I'm doing stuff like that. They may
Mm-hmm.
be doing a drill and they might be going back and forth. Just you slow, and I just all y'all slow. Okay, none of y'all make I might get out there and do some stuff like that, especially during football season. Like I'm a talker. I get out there and I talk to the guys. I let them know like, hey, you couldn't do that on me, and I'm this, I'm that, and then like they like to talk. Oh, coach, you old, you ain't got it no more. So okay, put your cleats
Let's
on.
go.
We out there, we race. I
Let's
beat you
go.
real quick, let you know you slow, and then I go back to coaching and loving on you. But so I do stuff like that to kind of stay in shape, just constantly challenge the kids to
Mm-hmm.
get my competitive juices going, and I get my competitive juices going and I get my exercise through that way.
That's what's
I
up.
love it.
And we were talking. I don't know if probably you're familiar with it. The young man that lost his life coaching his son's football team.
Yeah,
By you being a young man and a black young man, and there's like you say, your school is predominantly Hispanic, but you have a lot of young men out there that don't have fathers, and you're able to give them, that type of support and guidance. So I think sports helps in that type of area also.
yes. I mean, I agree 100% with you with that point. That's the reason why I wanted the coach. I know when I was growing up, I didn't have too many coaches that looked like me. I didn't have too
Mhm.
many coaches that achieved the things that I achieved through the game of football.
Mhm.
Um, for me, I know it's extremely important to have a figure that's tangible, that
Mhm.
succeeded in life in something that you want to succeed in. So when they
Mhm.
say something, I'm holding on to your only word because
Mhm.
because you said it, do it like this, you did it like that, and you made it this far. I see
Mhm.
kids that grew up with me that had so much more talent than I had, but they was lost like mentally. They just couldn't get things together. And I realize now, like growing up, you see these other things. If they had a coach or someone that looked like them, that spoke their language, that they can connect
Mhm.
with, and that they truly feel like loves me and want my best interest, they'll run
Mhm.
through the brick wall for their coach. And that's
Mhm.
Mhm.
that's my coaching philosophy right now. And when I want to get into coaches, that's the exact reason. I want to be that figure for those people. I want to be that person you go through when things are tough. Like right now, you deal with kids that they are the parents at their household. When I say that, their parents is so out of it. Like when they go home, they got to make sure their brothers and sisters eat. They got to make sure they get in bed. They got to wake them up in the morning. Like it's kids that sit there and out 2 hours before practice. I mean, after practice, they're still waiting for a parent to come home. So I see some of these things. Like I dealt with some of that stuff in my upbringing. I know what it is to have a parent that deal with their own issues, and you have to figure out a way to get through it. I know what it does to your mental state. I know what it does to your confidence and all the other things. And to have someone that can see that, recognize it without you even saying nothing, and give you the support and the reassurance that you need to know that you can be successful. Because I'm that person. I've been through it. I see it. And I'm telling you, like, I'm no different from you. Like, I'm no superhuman. I'm nothing. I'm a human just like you. I work my tail out to get where I want to get, and anybody can do it. You just got to put in the actual work. And the Bible says faith without works is no work at all. It's no faith at all. And it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. It's how you sit there and you tell me I want to be a great football player. I want to be a great student. I want to be a doctor. But when it's time to do the doctor stuff, it's time to be the great football player. It's time to be the great student stuff. You slacking off. You don't want to do it. So that's me. And I'm the guy where I'm gonna tell you blunt, hey, this not what you want to do, because if you did, you'll be doing this. You think you is, because if you was, this would be happening for you, and you'll understand the importance of putting your all into something you really love. Like I'm there because I feel like sometimes people are scared to tell kids the truth, but you got to, so they understand that what I'm doing right now is not good enough, and I can't be content with being okay if I want to be great in all facets of life.
There you go. And it's constructive criticism, and I think with today's youth, along with their parents, you try to give constructive criticism. Oh, you disrespecting me, you disrespecting my child, and a lot of times it has to come from the parents understanding, hey, little Johnny is not as good as you think he is. Johnny needs some work, and I'm here to help him, but y'all gonna have to work with me. I don't know if you come into that at high school. You have a quarterback or a young man that thinks he's a quarterback, and he's really not a quarterback, but his family's told him he's good enough to be a quarterback. And when you try to correct him, it's a problem for you. Do you ever run into anything like that?
I mean, of course you run into a lot of stuff like that. And for me, I first like to start. I love a kid up to death. Like I'm gonna give you love, show what you love. So when I criticize you, you know that I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not just saying this because he don't like me. I put in the work. Like I've earned your trust. I've earned your respect. So when I say something, I speak on something, I mean it, and I'm saying it from a place of love. And I'm going to reassure your parents as well, because I'm going to tell your parent what you do amazing, and I'm going to tell you what you do terrible. And my favorite line is like, I tell you these things so we can work together to build your kid up. Like, out. But you got to have a transparent relationship with the parents and let them know what you're saying, what you're talking about. I'm not just gonna tell you, hey, your kid is bad. I'm gonna tell them your kid is bad because he's high in his pad leverage. He doesn't play with great technique. He's always out of place. He doesn't know where he needs to be. I'm gonna let you know those things, and then if you don't believe what I'm saying, I'll bring you in and show you the film, so you see. Like, I gotta bring you in my world so you can see what I see, so you can understand how to help your child. Like I tell anybody that talk to me, there's no person that you're going to find that's going to care about the kids' well-being more than me. You know what I mean? Like, even when I'm on you and I'm getting into you, it's nobody that you're going to go talk to that care about you more than I care about you. Because if I didn't care about you the way I care about you, I promise you I wouldn't be talking to you.
Yep.
Wouldn't be into it. Wouldn't be getting it. And you're right. And what do you think your one challenge was through this whole process?
It's patience. It's just really patience, because when you come from a world I come from, I was in NFL. I was in the NFL for 5 years. I'm in the NFL defensive meeting room. I'm on the NFL practice field. I'm on the NFL playing field. The game for me is a lot different than it is to, let's say, yourself. The way me and you can look at a football game and we see two totally different pictures. And for me, I'm going from the highest level football to like one of the lower level football in my mindset. Like, that's not necessarily saying that, but it's high school compared to the NFL.
Exactly.
You have to break things down and teach these kids. It's certain stuff that they just like have no idea that what I'm talking about, that they have no understanding of. So taking my mindset from professional level where I don't have to go into as much detail explaining stuff to kids. I really got to break stuff down now and give them a step by step process. So really having the patience to get them to understand what I need from them. And something, if I say something as simple, like it might even sound near foot, near shoulder when you're approaching the tackle. I say something like that, and you get kids looking at you like I'm speaking a different language.
Yeah.
If I say that in the NFL locker room,
Mhm.
that's second nature. Everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So it was things like that, having to really go back and teach those stuff, and having the patience to work with a kid when they really can't get something, or they just not giving you the effort that you want. I'm a type of guy where if you love something, I don't have to beg you for effort. I might have to beg you to get in, you know, the right technique or be in the right spot. I got to teach you those things, but I never should be sitting there coaching effort. You see what I'm saying? Like
You
effort
should
is
already want it.
yes, and having the patience to deal with that, because for me the game is giving me so much. My respect for the game is so high. So when I feel you go out there and I feel like you're not giving the game respect that it needs, it really truly bothers me. You see, and it's trying to get that
Okay.
onto the kids. You know what I mean? And I'm a true believer. Your children are a reflection of who you are as a parent.
There you go.
You got
Mm-hmm.
kids, you probably a disrespectful person. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that as a football coach. I want my kids to reflect who I am. I want you to go out there and give everything you got every play. I want you to be lined up. I want you to be disciplined. I want you to be respectful. I want you to know how to handle business when it's time to play football. You know, block out distractions and lock it into the game. Like I want you to do that. And I'm going to show you that every single day. I'm gonna do the same. When I step on the football field, I'm gonna give you great intensity. I'm gonna have great energy. I'm gonna give you great effort when I'm coaching. I might be more excited about you making a play than you are. You might do something small, like as far as your hand placement, and I just go overboard, like, oh yeah, just running, just excited and geeked up on the chest bump and all that stuff, because I've been working with you. I'm trying to get you to do it. And when I see that my coaching is working and we start applying it to the game, that excites me. That's where I get that. That's just like me making an interception back in the day. You know what I mean? So that's where my excitement comes from.
And you know, we look at some of the players on TV and they look small, but when you get on the field, y'all are some big dudes.
Now
Y'all are
they
some
some
big
big dudes.
dudes. So
They
you
some
come
big
from
dudes.
college and you're in the NFL, like that's like a culture shock. You like, whoa,
Yeah,
these are
there's some big guys. Yeah, and for me, I was always, playing defensive back. Defensive backs, we're usually the smaller guys on the team. For me, you go in there, you see those big guys, and you see them like, it kind of can be intimidating. That's kind of why you get all these tough guys walking around like the DBs. We the guys that talk, do all the talking. We the guys that pretend to be the toughest. And this, because that's the aura you going in. You go in a room full of jocks, and you got to make sure you stand out. And
exactly.
so it's interesting.
Okay, so while we take a quick pause for the calls, we want to introduce. We are speaking with Quest. I didn't say Quest now. Okay, go ahead.
You know, black people get people name wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody gets everything.
Yeah, everybody get my name wrong. So I said everybody get mine wrong, so it's all
I
right.
know.
She tried to, tell who was coming on a couple of days ago, and she said, "I just know I botched his name up."
But I was
I
like,
said, "Just call him
I'm so
Quest."
excited because
Yeah.
exited the NFL and decided to coach. And I was like, that seems very selfless because a lot of people don't even get back to the children, but
the community.
or the community. But I felt like that was very I don't know what the word I am. I was very impressed. I was very humbled by that. How did you? I understand how you came into teaching, but how did you learn to coach? From it's one thing to play and it's another thing to coach. Yeah.
It's just just loving the game of football. You grow up and you play the game. You playing in all high school. I was just playing the game, and through college, I had a coach named Alex Grinch. He kind of started my process of learning. He's the defense coordinator at USC now. And he just always challenged me. He'd bring me in there and he just like, I feel like I had a great day. And he just kind of nitpick. He'd find something to coach me on and tell me this. And he'd ask me questions I didn't know the answer to. And it bothered me. Like I'm a guy, like I'm a competitive person. Like that's what if you're going to get to know Quest, you got to understand I'm a competitive person. We're not going to do anything that is keeping score, and I'm not going to compete. And we're not
Sound like me.
and that's who I am. And he told me things like that, and it bothers me that I didn't know the answer. It bothered me I didn't know what the defensive end had to do. And so I just paid attention. He go through the board. He say, "Oh, this is this. If so and so do this, and then you have to do this." And then if you're familiar with defensive football, you understand the safety gives the cornerbacks the play. The safety tells the cornerback what kind of coverage he's playing. I got tired of being out there at cornerback, and I'm looking for the safety to tell me what I'm supposed to play, and the safety doesn't say anything.
you just out there.
You just out there, or they give you a look, they turn it in, and they start ignoring you. Like I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't know the play, so now we're both lost. So from there,
we just out here getting just ran over.
Yeah, so from there, that happened to me one too many times. So I said, I'm finna learn what everybody has to do. When I learned what everybody has to do, I learned that I really enjoy it. Like, it's kind of fun, and it allows you to play faster. It allows you to move quicker to a certain spot, recognize things quicker, see an offensive set and say they only do this thing from this set because that's what your keys have taught you through the whole week.
And I just want to, let them know also, when we reached out to you, you had no hesitation with saying, shoot, yeah, I'll come on. Anytime I can, speak to our young generation, I'm here.
No, most definitely. That's kind of who I am. Like, that's the most important thing I want to do. I want to make sure that I reach the next generation and give back everything that I can possibly give, because I think that's the only way we're gonna get better. We gotta understand that the kids that we're talking to right now, the kids that we're dealing right now, those are our future nation leaders. Those are the people that's going to make important decisions for us in the future. And if we don't raise them right and put the right thing in their lives, then imagine what kind of place we're going to be in the future.
There you go. And, like I say, we have two boys, and I want one of them to play football, the small one. I say he's built like Derrick Henry. He thick, and he's strong too. But she won't let
he pick up.
She got a cousin, and he picked her up, and he's only 6. He picked her up.
My baby down.
But she won't let him play football. I mean,
well, he already kind of convinced me that it might be a good idea, but you have a parent that's hesitant to let their children play football. What would you say in 1 minute or less? Go ahead, Quest. You have 1 minute to convince
I think it's important. The most important thing is who the players coach, who's going to coach the player. You want to make sure that you have a coach that is very competent and know how to play the game the right way. There's a lot of coaches out here that just had the kids just going out their head, but you want to make sure that they taught to play heads up football, where I'm leaving my head out the football, eliminating the effects of the concussion. But because I'm shoulder tackling, I'm approaching everything with great technique, and I'm making sure that that I'm leaving my head out the tackle. That's the most important thing. So you make sure the kids' safety is good. And you want people that teach them the game of football, not just to go out there and just run around, but teach them to understand what leverage is, teach them how to play the right gaps, and teach them real concepts so they understand how to be great football players. When you get on that level, when you go to middle school and you actually understand the reason why you're running the play, you understand why this guy needs to be set in this right spot for this reason, it's going to put you on a real elite level and give you advantages over some other guys.
And then, they're in T-ball, and I was their coach for both teams, Coach Turner, and we was in an argument on, a disagreement on. She don't think that kids should play at this early of an age. She thinks they should get in high school and start
I didn't say high school. I just said a little bit older, because they run around. All the parents don't feel like my nerves is bad. I'm like, what in the world is going on?
They learn the fundamentals.
Everybody get off. They just need to focus. They already out there. I didn't play sports, and I think that's probably why my relationship going the way today. I'm pretty much let me do it so don't nothing get wrong type thing.
Yeah.
And when sports seem like
it's camaraderie, it teaches you a teamwork. know. And that's what I was telling. I say, you're not even with Golden Title.
Yes,
But like I told her, sports at this age is teaching discipline. It's teaching the fundamentals. You're gonna have kids in T-ball. You got them all over the place. Probably in little flag football.
Probably because how it's done. It's irritating. I would be like, who do I focus on? It's so many people. I'm like, I can't even watch this mess.
But their little minds that's why you play like 2 innings. Their little minds are all over the place anyway. So should we put him in flag football?
Wait till he gets a little older.
Well, I enjoy flag football. I think flag football at any age is really good because it teaches them how to play the game, and it takes all the contact out the sport. And actually and truthfully, the way that you have to approach tag football, that's the way that you want a kid to tackle. You want them to close to the near hip, like I was saying, near hip, and where the flags are located on their hips. That's how you want to tackle. It shows them how to approach a tackle and go like from your near foot, near shoulder. So this approach, it's hard because I'm sitting down. I get excited. I want to really stand up and really coach.
Okay.
That's what you want when you approach a tackle, and flag football, it shows you that way. It creates really good habits for good football players.
So we should look for him a football team.
I feel more comfortable now. I think you should continue talking because a lot
Yeah.
of people may feel like I do.
She's getting comfortable
know.
with you. A lot more comfortable with you, being
Yeah.
here. 'Cause
Being able to
it was just
explain and
no.
articulate from the inside.
Okay,
You
so
get
this
neck
one,
broke.
what are your withdrawals about football? What kind of makes you kind of pull back from it?
Like head trauma injuries, like they all. They
Broke
most,
leg,
most play. Not
split
most.
toenail.
It may be different because
Can I say this?
we may see people who kind of fell out. You got scars all up and down their knees. They had 50 surgeries and all this.
I played football since the fourth grade.
Mm.
I've never had not one concussion.
Mm.
I never had not one concussion. The worst injury I had was my last year playing in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. I tore both of my groins. That's the worst one.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I know it sounds bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds. It's not as bad.
They both of them. Dang, I couldn't get just one of them hurt.
Yeah, and that was the worst injury I had. But for me, like I had no head traumas, and that's what it comes from when I'm telling you approach the game the right way. Get with coaches is going to teach you how to play the game of football the correct way. That is safety first. It's not going to go in there and just tell the kids to ram their head into anybody. It's just teach them how to lead with your shoulder, run your feet through tackle, wrap and roll technique. And just constantly teach the details of the football game. Go out there and really show them like, okay, if I need to be in this gap, how to use my hands instead of my head. Instead of going into a block like this, going into a block using my hands and controlling the player with my hands instead of trying to headbutt a guy. When you got coaches like that all on the same page and they teaching head up football, I think that's going to, it's going to string out the game even longer. Because for me right now, as a guy that love the game of football, they're doing everything to take the sport away. You can't hit anybody no more. All they talk about is head trauma, all that. When really and truthfully, in any other sport, you get the same thing. People get concussions in basketball. People get concussions in baseball. People tear ACLs and all this stuff in everyday life. We got boxing out there. We constantly cheer that on. Boxing is never going to go anywhere.
I be nervous.
UFC, you got UFC, which is horrible.
All that stuff on, but we're sitting here talking about a game which people love. When you sign up, play the game of football, you understand what comes with it. But you also take on a responsibility to play the game in the most professional and creative way to keep yourself safe.
So do you have children, correct?
Yes, I have 3.
You have any boys?
Yes, I have a boy. My boy's the youngest.
And how old is he?
He's 6.
And
He
he plays.
So
He plays.
he doesn't play. He doesn't play now because I don't have the time. And when my son plays football, I want to be the person that's critiquing the things that he's doing, so I can really watch it. If I had the time where I can go out there every day and I can show him how to play the game the right way, like then he'll definitely play football. But I can tell you this: if I bring my son around right now and he tell you, if you say, "Hey, tackle me," he's going to show you how to tackle the right way. Every time we play football and we just sitting around here playing, he puts his head down. I tell him pick your head up. I tell him to put your near foot forward. I tell him to run your feet on contact, wrap and roll. I teach him all these things so he understand when he does start playing the game. And someone tells him something different. Nah, that's not how my daddy told me to play. That's not the correct way. And it's with him and our responsibility, to keep preaching the right way to play the football game, so our game does never have to end. It can keep going on forever.
There you go. And then the correct way is back in the day. I think Pop Warner he was the one that started with the making sure that these young Pee Wee leagues started going in, tackling the right way, because you had Pee Wee boys out there being paralyzed.
Yes.
Watched a lot of documentaries, being paralyzed from the waist down at 10 and 12 years old.
Yes.
just from not knowing how to tackle.
And I think something that can help with that with some of those those coaches, they can't just be people parents. You know what I mean? It's okay if you're a parent, but you got to go through a certification process.
There you
In
go.
my opinion, you need to go through like a couple online classes where you understand how to teach kids how to play the right way. You know how to keep their heads about the tackle, so we can prevent those injuries and present a more positive game for the outlook of people.
Hmm. And do you think that some of the sports now, because we had a conversation that the sports now is not even really about the kids, it's more about the parents uh, trying to live through their kids these days?
I think it's a combination of both. And the reason why I say that because I'm a parent and I'm going out there and I'm super extra and I don't want to live through none of my kids. I don't. I don't. I love my kids. I love when they're going out there competing. I say it again. I'm a competitive person. When my
Mhm.
kids are going out there going well, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to challenge my kid to go out there and give everything they got because I'm going to do that. But the same
Mhm.
energy that I give at a football game or a basketball game,
You'll give
when
it
my
home with
child has a choir performance, I'm there giving that
you.
same energy.
Mhm.
When my child was playing the violin, I was there giving that same energy.
Mhm.
Like any opportunity you got. And most importantly, when we go in there and she receives an award for being, the greatest student of all time, like I'm giving
Mhm.
that same energy. I'm that dad in the back, like that's my baby. Like, yes, you can't
Mhm.
mess with it. And that's the
There
same
you
Okay.
go.
because I'm proud of my children. And
Mhm.
so I can see it both ways. There's some people out there, like it was a lot of people that hate on LeVar Ball. But for
Mhm.
me, you have other races of parents that does the same thing. Are we
Mhm.
because we look this way? Like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how I took it because me, if
Right
I got
on.
two boys that's amazing at basketball,
Mhm.
I'm celebrating from the top of the roof. I'm an amazing parent.
Mhm.
I made sure my kids graduate from high school. I made sure
Mhm.
they didn't get in any trouble and they
Mhm.
succeeded in life and what they wanted to put themselves to. And
Mhm.
I'm proud of them and I'm proud of myself too because it's hard out here, especially for people that look like us.
Right
There you go.
on.
And and that's one of the thing. And like you say, you cheer on education, you cheer on choir recitals, violin. But the first thing people see when they see people, especially black boys of color, the first thing they come up to them and say, "You play basketball?" You
Yeah.
know, no, I don't play basketball. They never ask them what grade are you in or do you go to college. But the first thing they look at us as is athletes. Did you run into a lot of that?
I mean, I'm 30 years old. I still get that right now. You must play football.
Mhm.
No, no, no. But and for me, like it just for me, I took it from kind of taking it as a sign of disrespect that I must play as a compliment. I must take good care of myself. You look at me,
There you
I'm
go.
good physical appearance where you think that I look good enough where I can go out there and run around at 20 miles per hour and
Mm-hmm.
make plays or get on the basketball court and jump over somebody's head and dunk a basketball. You must think highly of my physical appearance. So, I just try to take a more of a positive outlook
That's
on,
good.
all aspects.
I
I,
love
I,
that.
I
I
like
love. That's
that. You
why I be
turn
saying
the negative into a
that.
positive. I
Positive.
like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
hey, I've been noticing that throughout the conversation,
Hmm.
and I love that. I appreciate that because it's so easy to be Debbie
Hmm.
Downer, but when you can create a mindset that you know what, it's something positive and beautiful in
Hmm.
everything. So
And
no, go ahead.
so, like we were talking earlier, you coach track also. Were you ever in track?
Oh yes, I played. I was a three-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, and track.
Oh.
I was a lot better at football and track than I was at basketball. But basketball, sometimes you got to play your role, and you got to be a
Mhm.
star in your role. And I definitely started mine.
That's
Mhm.
what's
Yeah,
up.
in track, I don't want to my home horn, but I was kind of a guy. I was a kind of guy in track and football. So, for me getting to go out there and coach track, like it's a dream come true. I get the same amount of passion in track as I do in football because it's something that's important to me. Like I said, sports it played an extremely important role in my life, and I never disrespect it.
That's
Hmm.
what.
But track probably helped you out in football a lot too
Oh
with
yeah, you
agility and
definitely do.
speed.
And track, you really got to work hard. In football, you can
Mhm.
just be a talented guy, but God give you speed. You can't
Mhm.
Hmm.
go out there like you can work to get a little bit faster, but either you're gonna be fast or you ain't.
You know.
Hmm.
And
Period.
for track, like you really got to work for what you want.
Mhm.
Like I might not be the fastest guy out there, but I might can run. I can hold my 15 miles per hour longer. You can hold your 18 miles per
There
Hmm.
you
hour.
go. And
Eventually,
you
I'm
end
gonna.
up passing them.
Yes, ma'am. So it's different things like that, and you can gain endurance by actually going out there and working hard.
Hmm.
Hmm. Like like you said, you were playing a three-sport athlete. Do you think that it's better for a child to play all the sports and then they take the gravitate to the one they like the best, or you say pick one that you're better at and stick to it and try to get amazing at it?
For me, I'm back and forth with that because if your kid's showing you like, oh, he's really really talented at basketball, and he kind of suck at football and baseball and all that stuff, then of course do that. But if you got a kid that's well rounded, he can kind of do everything. I think it's always good to let him go out there and try different sports because all different sports they don't work on the same muscles. You do different things. You got
Mhm.
different levels of hand-eye coordination, and
Mhm.
like some things just like it's gonna get like overlooked in football than maybe in baseball. Now this is definitely something that you really need to work on in baseball. And then when you put all those things together, you just get one super athlete. And I think for me and the guys that I grew up with, I think that's always the case because we was never out of sports. We was constantly doing things,
Doing
constantly working on being a well-rounded athlete. In basketball, I'm always running and jumping. I'm changing
something.
lateral side to side
Mhm.
moves, a lot of things like that. In football,
Mhm.
it's short spurts. I'm playing for 6 seconds.
Mhm.
The average football player is 6 seconds. So I go really hard for 6 seconds. I stop. I relax. Basketball's up and down. Track, I got to
Mhm.
sprint hard as I possibly can. So it's
Mhm.
different muscles that you work on, but then when you put them all together, you can have something special.
Mhm.
And you were saying you had your first cousin, I want to say, was in the NFL with you also.
Yes.
How was that? Was that like a competition? I mean, did y'all
They
hype each
said he
other up?
competitive. You already
Yeah.
know.
Like what was
Yeah.
that like
Playing
for
with
both of
him.
y'all to be there?
For me, like we grew up together doing everything. I lived with them majority of my whole entire life. Like
Mhm.
slept in the same bed, shared the same
Mhm.
clothes, like so everything I did was always against him. I always
Mhm.
wanted to be better than him at everything. I always wanted to be
Mhm.
taller than him. I always want to weigh more than him. I always want to if we walking and we make eye contact, I might start trying to walk faster than him. Like, like, but I like you laughing, but I'm serious. Like
You got that? You dead serious?
I have scars on my body where I had to go to the hospital and get stitches because we're outside competing against one another. And we're going hard. And guess what? I go get them stitches and I come back and I want to finish the
Do it
game.
again.
Like I
Mhm.
Oh
want
wow.
to like because that's how we was raised. We competed at everything, but it brought off a different level of us. We can
Mhm.
take our talents to a different level than anyone else, especially our age, just because
Mhm.
we was we was brought up in that environment, going against
Mhm.
older kids. And what hurt is because in Clarksville, Texas, when I'm telling you we playing against all these older kids,
Mhm.
it's two younger kids on the court. And these two young kids gotta always match up against each other because I'm playing against guys that's 5 years older than me. I'm playing
Mhm.
against guys that might be 6 years older than us.
Mhm.
They're in high school, we're in elementary. So so it's like okay, y'all two young guys, y'all gonna go against each other. So everything it was a healthy hater. Like that's what we used to call each other. We healthy haters. If I do this, he mad because he want to do something a little bit better than me. But he's not gonna say he mad at me. He gonna support me in everything I do, and he gonna be my biggest cheerleader. But in the back of his mind, he like I want to be better than him at this. And it was the same thing for me. And still to this day, like he's a coach too, and it kind of drive both of us.
And like you were saying, you had to play with people bigger than you. When I was growing up in my neighborhood, I really only had guys to play with.
Okay.
So, I played softball and I was really good at softball because I had to play baseball with all the boys.
Yeah.
I had to be tougher than the boys because if I got hit and cried, oh, you're a girl, you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
play. So I couldn't cry. I couldn't act like anything hurt me. So, like you saying, it kind of is a benefit to play with, like myself, a different sex because it made me stronger, and like you, a different age bracket because it made you a better. Because if you could guard this person 5 years older than you, there's nothing for you to guard somebody that's your own age.
That's a fact. That's very true. And I commend my older cousins, the guys just from Clarksville, that just they didn't take it easy on us.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can be like, oh, they young guys. No, they showed us we was young guys. We sit out there, we play football, they're gonna push us down.
Mm-hmm.
like and when
Get
we
up,
get up,
get
they're gonna
back
push
up.
us down again and tell
Mm-hmm.
us stop crying and suck it up and come on, let's play. And
There
then
you
guess
go.
what? When they picking teams again, they're gonna pick us again and make us get out there and play. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that and I appreciate them for that.
Mm. So what does your girls play any sports?
Oh yes, they play basketball. My youngest girl, she run track right now, and
Oh wow, she pretty
basketball.
fast.
She's going to be fast. I really do. I think she might end up being the best athlete in the family just because she's going to be extremely athletic and she's very coachable.
That's
Um,
that's a
yeah,
big
my
deal.
Extremely
son,
coachable.
I think my son's gonna be very athletic as well, but he's not as coachable. My oldest daughter, she's athletic, but she's not as coachable. But I think my middle daughter, I think she's gonna have the total package because I can tell her to make some adjustments and she's gonna do it. She likes being coached.
So have you thought about having I guess, a type of camp for young, parents that may have hesitation with their son playing football? And have you thought about putting together a camp?
Okay, wait a minute. I have one more question. Let me wait a minute before you answer that. Before you answer that, okay. So we're going to interview coaches for football, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm really on the edge here. I'm almost there. Like, how we know? Okay, this sounds like
Would you just like for them to go with us?
we're gonna narrow it down to three coaches,
And we're gonna take you with us.
and a discussion. Okay, but like, how would we know that they know what they're talking about? Like, as a single mother of our situation, how would we know this?
You got men
Okay,
that don't know
I'm just saying
about
there might be
football.
somebody else watching them thinking might be hesitant, like I was.
This is the first thing I want to know. Ask them why they want to coach, and if their philosophies for wanting to coach matches up what you want with his coach, they gives you okay, well maybe my kid could play for it. And when you figure out if okay what his philosophies are as a coach and mine as a parent that match up, then let's go about what you know about football. How are you going to teach my kid how to tackle? What benefits is my kid going to get from playing with your organization? Like, are you going to help push them forward as far as their knowledge of the game, the X's and O's, how to approach the game? What a tackle really means, what a nose guard is. Just different things. Get them to explain that and see what kind of terms they is. Can they break it down in simplified terms? Because we're going to be dealing with some elementary kids or
Mhm.
some middle school kids who it's going to be certain words that you said that they're not going to understand what you want at all. So we want someone that can break that down in simple terms that anybody can understand. It's kind of what you uh if you're going to buy a car from somebody, you don't want them to be talking about the carburetor and this and whoop that. You want them to talk about it's the thing that do this, that make this start. And so you like, oh, okay, I know what this is. It's the same thing we talk about football. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's what you want to do. When you get a guy where he's talking to you and he's telling you things about the game, and you be like, oh, okay. Like you might not know exactly the word that he's saying, what it means, but then when you start talking about it, like, oh, that's what you mean. And if you can
Mhm.
start understanding, you put yourself in the mindset of a child who's learning the game, and he not only talking about it, but I'm putting you in physical situations where I can feel it too. You know what I mean? What you're talking about, and I think that'll definitely help narrow down the coaches.
Okay.
A lot of people will go with coaches or schools because they're the winning school. And
Yes.
just because they're the winning school doesn't always mean that the coach will, I mean, will be a great coach or a fit for your child, correct?
No, that's correct. A lot of schools winning just because they have better kids. It has
There you go.
absolutely nothing to do with coaching.
Mhm.
At some teams, they come in there and they got a kid that's if you didn't say nothing to him, he still was going to be probably the
Mhm.
best kid in the state of
Mhm.
Texas, and
Mhm.
you can win games from that. But you want a coach that understands children. The first part of coaching, especially at this level, is building relationships. You got to gain their trust. You got to make them feel like I will bend over backwards for you. I'll do anything that you do to me. Because when it comes time to chastise them, you want them to
Mhm.
have that appreciation for you that they sit back and take it instead of want to fight against it or shutting down. Because that's what kids do now. You
Yeah.
say something to them, if they don't talk back, they probably going to shut down. Me, when
Mhm.
you talk back to me, we'll sit there, we'll go back and forth. But when we get said and done, you're gonna understand where I come from. You know what I mean? I'm not one of
Mhm.
those folks. I understand it's a different generation. It's not the generation that we grew up in.
Yeah.
I know
Mm-hmm.
it's not the time. I know I grew up in a generation where if my auntie or my mama said Quest and I said, huh, it's gonna be something that come with that, huh?
Uh-huh.
You're
This
absolutely right.
generation, you say you call their name, they what you want? Like so it's
What?
yes, it's a different generation. Like
Mhm.
I'm still gonna keep with the same morals I grew up with, where you're gonna have respect, you're gonna talk to me, but I'm gonna give you a little leeway too because I understand it's a different world. But I can teeter tot in both lanes and I succeed in both. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you the discipline you need to, but I'm also gonna allow you to challenge what I'm saying. So I show you like I'm not just saying do it because I tell you to. When you challenge what I'm saying, I'm gonna tell you exactly why I'm telling you doing it and how it's gonna benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
There
Right
you
on.
go.
That's how you get it. That's called effective communication, right there.
Yes, ma'am.
One on
That's it.
one. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And like I was saying,
Okay, yeah. Before you were rudely interrupted, I apologize because I forget. I'll be like, man, I want to ask this.
do you think you ever hold a camp? Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we were talking
Yes.
later about, earlier about something, and we'll talk offline about that. But like getting a camp together, just going over fundamentals for the younger boys that may want to play.
It's a lot of stuff that I got in mind that I really just want to do. For me, it just really coming out down to just really having the time and being able to do it right. I don't want to do nothing that just
Yeah.
rest or that just doesn't feel right. I want to put something that I can be honored to be a part of. Something that's very effective and benefit a lot of lives. And for me, I need time to really put that together and really make stuff happen. And you need to have a great team. I need to have people that's going to market it right. People that's
Mhm.
going to be there to and have the communication channels that you need, as far as the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, the different things that you need to just really just put the stuff out there and have it presented the way that you want it presented. And if I do it, I want to have people that I made a play with that these people want to get out there and touch and they can see. So because the more faces that you see that you can touch, that the other things that you want to do, the more you feel like, okay, this is in reach. I can actually do this.
There you go. That's absolutely correct.
Mm. Okay, so for the little kid that's watching right now, and they like, oh man, I want to go to the NFL. Okay, this is too far. Tell us how you felt like when you first walked onto the NFL field and that feeling.
Getting
And
drafted that night that you got drafted, how did you feel?
oh, now you're hitchhiking my question. Go ahead.
That night you sitting there, because I mean that's something.
Yeah, okay,
Because I
no.
watch it. I watch the
Yeah.
draft, and
Yeah,
I'm just like,
she watching the combine. I know, like, oh
Everyone.
no, this is so. Okay.
No, it's a true experience. It really is, and I'm honored to be a part of it. But for me, like you sit there, you anxious. Every time your phone ring, you think it's someone calling you, telling you, "Hey, you drafted here," and it might be someone just checking on you. You get a beep, and you got teams that might call you, say, "Hey, stay by your phone. We finna call you right here," and then they get a draft call. Somebody they pick somebody else, and then you kind of get into your feelings about that, and you feel some type of way about that. But for me, I got big dreams for myself. I always have, and I still do. I was kind of, I don't want to say upset. I wasn't satisfied. When I got drafted, I heard my name called. I thought it was gonna be a feeling of satisfaction. Like I was gonna be like, ooh, I did it, I made it. But for me, it just like I don't want to say angry. I just got hungrier. Like I was mad out. I went in the fourth round. I'm like, I'm the best ever. I was supposed to be the first overall pick. Like I know I wasn't supposed to. Nothing said I was supposed to. It's just like the mindset I approached it with. So when I got my name called. I wanted to go into the league. I want to prove everybody wrong. I want to do everything that I want to. And then you realize the NFL not everything like that you think it is. It's a lot more to go into it than just going out there and play football. And that's one thing that I wish I understood more about it. And and could have did a better job when I was going into it as a younger guy.
But see, you just said something that I feel is really important. A lot of people, and that's why we wanted you to come on too, because a lot of kids sit back and they see what, on Sunday. They
Yes.
see everybody out there playing, or we sitting watching the draft, we're sitting and watching the combine. But like you say, if you don't have somebody that's actually been there to talk to you to what to expect, or what's going to go on, what's going to happen, I mean, you're going in there blind. And that's why I feel a lot of um, people end up getting distracted in the NFL, or it's not even NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. You're taking somebody that's coming in from maybe not having any money to all this money all at once, and then it's a big, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Big change.
a big change. I
It
mean,
is.
mentally.
It's a big adjustment, especially you got to think about the type of people. When you look at the NFL, I'm almost positive over 75% of the NFL is African American.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are not from the best, social
There you
standings,
go. Mm-hmm.
and that's a big change for them. And that's when it comes to vetting people. And when you say vetting people, building your network, finding people that you can learn from, that you actually trust. And so it's gonna be some people out there that be gonna be a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you gotta
Right.
cipher through them people as well. And you gotta surround yourself by a good team that's gonna tell you the right things when you need to hear it, and not just gonna pat you on the back and say, yeah, you're doing great every time, regardless if you self-sabotaging or not.
There you go.
Mm.
Like, it can be hard because you go from having maybe $200 in your bank account to wake
Mhm.
up the next day and you got $800,000 in your bank
There
account.
you go.
Like it really happens, and for a kid that never had anything to go into that, it can be a big shock, and you can
Mhm.
probably just go crazy. I think I could do
Mhm.
anything now. I never had this type of money and never had it, but you need that person that gonna tell you, hey, this is what we're gonna do with this. We're gonna take this part, we're gonna put it here, we're gonna leave you this much, and we're gonna set you this monthly budget. And if you
Mhm.
need anything else, you got to go through these other avenues to get it. So
Yeah.
were like, hey, I don't even want to touch it because I got to go through all this to get this
Mhm.
extra.
Exactly. It's a headache to get my own money. So all they wanted.
It'll be there.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
And
that's good.
in the right way, teach you how to, budget your money, and get a good financial advisor that can help you put it in the right places.
Mhm.
That's smart. And a lot of
Do y'all have like an orientation, like a
Yes,
like a freshman class?
yes, the
to,
NFL helps you out a lot. I was
Mhm.
really impressed. I'm never gonna say it's enough because I always think you can do more.
Mhm.
yeah.
But they do actually have an orientation. They talk about financial literacy, and they
Mhm.
talk about how to save, and how to invest your money, and not going out there and just going crazy to do stuff. They got
Mhm.
support groups, for people that have problems with alcoholism or substance abuse and stuff like that. They actually do a great job where, say, if me and my wife need counseling, they got a system where through our insurance we can go get marriage counselors for that. The NFL does a great job, trying to their best to take care of their kids. They have 401k benefits to help set you up for future life, retirement and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So they do things to take care of their players. But as a player, speaking for future players, they always can do more. It's not enough, and we always want to go out there and make sure that our guys are taken care of.
I was wondering if they had like a retirement. I'm surprised that they have a retirement because like okay, we're giving them so much money,
They
they
should
need to
be able
put
to
all
put it
this.
up.
But
Yes,
that's
That's smart.
nice.
So
Okay.
yes.
it, I mean, and you by you breaking it down to us like that, this is actually a job. You look
No,
at
it's a,
it.
it's a
No,
real
no,
job.
you get it out of the when we go to work every day. You got a 401k, but like he's saying, the NFL has 401k. And you're like, why do they need a 401k when they're getting
Mhm.
paid millions and millions of dollars? But a
My
lot of
work
people don't
schedule,
know that.
my work schedule is just like your work schedule. When I was in the NFL, I went to work. I probably got there every day, maybe 6:30. I left there probably at 4:30. On a good day, if I'm trying to get out early, at 4:30. Uh,
Mhm.
I go to work Monday through Sunday.
That
Uh,
sounds like the military when I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really went to work almost every day. It's at some points where I went to work and I didn't get off. Where I'm talking
Mhm.
about fall camps, I'm there for months.
Mhm.
Like it's times where you can't be away from your family. You got to go out of town and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's definitely a real job, and it's something that like being in it and looking from the outside in. I respect what they do because it's a
Mhm.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
dedication and a lot of time, and being in the real workforce now, like I see like it's a real job. When you
Mm-hmm.
love it, sometimes you get they kind of get overlooked that it's a real job, but
Yeah.
it's a real job.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
good for you to have explained that because, like I say, a lot of
Mhm.
people get lost, and you don't want a child or a young boy or girl to just say, "Well, I'm not going to do my schoolwork because I'm going to be a professional athlete."
Yes,
If you had to talk to your younger self, what would you say to your younger self today?
I'm gonna tell you this like this. When I was getting ready for the NFL draft, people that worked at Liberty Island High School that I graduated from, several people was calling and telling me that there's NFL man in here asking the questions about you.
Oh wow.
Mm,
So what I'm saying is all that stuff is important. You want to make sure that you stayed on your
Mhm.
grades, that you did the right things, that people had positive things to say about you. You hold yourself to a standard that everyone is respected, and they respect you. You treat people how you want them to treat you, and you take everything seriously. If I have a grade that needs to be done, I'm going to do it on time. I'm going to make
Mhm.
sure that it's quality work because at the end of the day, you never know who holds the keys to in your dream.
There you go.
Right on. I tell my son, I read this book one time and it said anybody could be average. I said, do you want to be average? I walk around, do you want to be average? It's kind of clean. No, we want it clean, clean, not just kind of clean. I'm like, why are you so obsessive? That's how my dad was. I was bringing home a 95. He was like, oh, you did all right. I be like, all right, I got all
Yeah,
A's. Look at this. What is this
that's how I am. I want you to do the best. My biggest thing is shut my mouth. Make me say
doing?
nothing. Like when you do
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm gonna be the person that's your biggest cheerleader. I'm gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
and hold you to the highest standard, but when you succeed, I'm gonna be the person that's giving you the most
Yeah.
congratulations.
Hmm. And then my son had brought home like a 78 one time, and he was like, "Mama, I'm disappointed." I said, Did you try your best? We're not worried about this number grade, but did you do your best? If
Do
you
your
walked
best.
in there and you wasn't prepared and you didn't do your best, then that's one thing. And then I said, but if you did your best, all we need to do is just regroup. We can regroup and we're gonna figure out what's going on, and then we're gonna, hey, we got some extra credit. What we're
Definitely.
gonna do? I mean, I just tell us, hey, we just don't care if it count for a grade. We just want the paper so we can retest ourselves. And then,
Yes.
like, I want to be enthusiastic about it and everything that they do. But that's just kind of how I am about everything. I'm a little high strung, as
No,
you can
that's
see.
good. You gotta have positive energy. You gotta have positive energy. When you put positive stuff out there in the world, positive stuff gonna come back.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love the energy and stay with it. If anybody got a problem with them, tell they need to move around.
There you go.
That part.
And
Yes,
I'm
man.
like I say, I appreciate you from being on here. You have opened her eyes,
Yes, you
and
did.
I mean to a lot, because like I say, that 6-year-old, that little one,
Yes.
he's got a
He
lot
needs
of
something to do. He
testosterone.
needs something to do.
And he needs, and he's, I mean, he just, he can take a lick and keep on ticking.
That's good.
He can
That's
take,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's, yeah, he got what it takes. He got what it takes.
I really am strongly considering,
I
that we
appreciate it.
will, check out the coaches.
Yeah, I mean,
Appreciate
I appreciate the fact that you gave me opportunity to, just even kind of enlighten you a little bit,
it.
change your opinion some. And like just watch the game, watch the NFL game. It might look a little bit violent, but you see the way they play the game of football. They're doing their best to protect people because you got to understand. At the end of the day, these are two, humans. It's a human error. It's always going to be there. So of course, it's going to be injuries, and of course, sometimes bad stuff going to happen. Every time you drive a car, you're not trying to run into somebody.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
sometimes it still happens. And on the football field, your job is to run into people. And
There you
imagine all the plays you have where there's no injuries.
There you
So
go.
you put that in comparisons with how many times you get in the car and actually see an accident. So
And
when
you
you
know
look
what?
at it like that way, it's good.
And
I
like I
like
was
how
saying,
positive you
you
are.
very
I know,
positive.
like,
It's
just
just
like
so relaxing. It make me feel like I
real
can go out there and
arrogant.
play.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
You see some people that, because you see people in Dallas, you see celebrities and athletes, and everything it's commonplace a lot, but they not, they don't say hi. They don't even look
Hey,
my way. Don't
I'm
look.
from Clarksville, Texas, Highway 82, Red River Park.
Okay, 82.
Right.
There you go.
Highway, West Robert
903.
Street. Yeah,
903. And
Broadway, yeah, Broadway,
and the thing about being from, a small town, we're humble. And if we
Yes,
can
very much.
shed light and try to, like I was telling, I can't remember who I was talking to. We went to the casino last night. And it was crazy because the lady, I had lost my card, and I put my card, I had to go up to the counter and give my driver's license to get a new card printed out. She said, I graduated from Clarksville
Oh wow.
before
Very
the
much.
high school burned down. And
Yes,
she said, I said, wow. She said, but I've been gone a while. She said, and the people that stayed there, they ended up being there. The people
yes,
that actually end up doing a little bit more were the people that left there. And sometimes our fear keeps us in this where we're at.
yes,
I was a person that got out, and I'm all over the world. I'm not scared. And I grew up,
yes,
in a small town. But like you say, by you leaving Clarksville, going to a little bigger school, that enabled you to
Have
be
no
able to
choice.
go to a bigger university and get, noticed by the NFL. So would you tell people to just get out your hometown? You got to move away, especially if you come from a small one.
Um, I don't like saying that because I love Clarksville to death. I hate what Clarksville has become because it's
Yeah.
almost a ghost town now. I
Yes.
think there need to be more stuff in there to recognize what Clarksville does. We always gonna have a ton of athletes, so let's put
Mhm.
resources into keeping our athletes in town. Let's do stuff to really show what great of a basketball program we have. You know, show some athleticism. We had some great athletes that come through Clarksville, some really great athletes. We got to lean on that and rebuild that town. You know, we got to get some color in there. You know, get a Walmart back there. You know, get something that create jobs and create opportunities for people to stay in that city and build it back up. When I grew up in Clarksville town, we was high school state champions in basketball. I remember having parades all the time. It was a lively city.
Yep.
Well, it was just it was small, but it felt big to us. You know, it was stuff going on. There's always activities going on. It felt like a true family vibe. And now you go there and it's almost like a Western movie. It's like you might see a dust ball rolling through or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
you,
hate.
oh no, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I just hate that, and I want to find something that can kind of get the city back going. And for me, I'm a
Exactly.
big sports guy, and you always have athletes there. Let's put something there where we can get our athletes out on video and push it out to the world, so we can start getting people to come back just to watch the games and just start small. If I knew something else that Clarksville had to really just offer like that, I say that. But I know that we have talented athletes and we have a great sports program, so let's push that as much as we possibly can do and get as much life back into their city as we can.
That's what I'm talking about. In every small town.
Yeah,
That's right.
And a lot of people, like you say, we have a lot of great athletes that came out of Clarksville. I was laughing with Tyrone Washington not too long ago when him and Shaq played in
Yes,
Austin in the championship game, against each other. And Shaq said that was one of his most difficult persons to guard was Tyrone Washington. And still to this day, they're still friends and keep in touch.
yes, so that's
But people
great.
don't know that about our small town.
Yes. So I'm with you, and I love this city. Like I told you, I do anything for people. You call my phone or you get in contact with me. You say do something for Clarksville, I'm with it.
Yep, that's what you told me. You say you from Clarksville, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
telling you. Yeah, but the contact in which we went to reach you, they made sure that they did a thorough investigation into our background and what we're
Yeah.
doing over here. But we just want to inspire, motivate, and encourage people to, explore, do research, and continue to have conversations. Like, and then, like, if you have a conversation, good, any conversation nowadays, because most of like tech, okay, let's sit up and let's talk about things, and then don't keep it to ourselves. Don't keep all the wonderful goodness because everything negative spirals and will spread. But let's keep some things that are inspirational, motivational, encouraging as well. So we'll put you full screen so you can have the final words of the podcast. So here we go. Here we go.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to everybody that listened to the podcast and that's supported us through this journey, and I appreciate y'all for having me on. I love the experience to get there and talking. Letting y'all to get to know me and understanding my thinking, and I just appreciate the opportunity. So thank y'all, and I hope y'all tune in for the next episode.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have you on again.
Wait a minute, we gotta do a little promo, and this is Cliff. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in to Under Talk Podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
This was awesome. This
This really was to see, and I'm really just I love the positivity. I can just feel it coming off the screen, and I love it. Yeah, very genuine. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone in the audience, live and full effect, in the bushes, on the replay, wherever you may be. Hit the thumbs up button and share it like those underwear. Now just playing. No, no, let's cut that part out.
We do not share underwear before.
Don't share underwear at all. I'm just looking for something that rhymes and those first.
Yeah.